Hello and welcome to a scene for Hong Kong House of Cards. Today, Dextra has been spending the last half hour or so working up the guts to go and tell the Regent that it might be a bad plan ghouling Adam. And so she is going to make her way along to knock on the door of his study. Not looking the most confident right now.
Okay. Inside, his favorite ghoul at the moment is filing papers and answers the door and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, the Regent is in his laboratory at the moment."
Um, is he busy? I mean, I'd like to talk to him, but I can.
He shouldn't be busy, but you may want to put on scrubs. He's doing biothom research.
Okay. Presumably there is a stockpile of scrubs.
There's the stockpile of scrubs. It's just you've been in his laboratory before. It gets messy.
Yeah. Um, she's not feeling particularly good about this. She'd rather talk to him not in his laboratory, but she doesn't want to kind of leave in case she loses her nerve. So she's going to get changed and head over to the laboratory.
All right. Uh, the whole uh, the whole lab is set up with uh, three human corpses, well preserved, on the table, organs removed, and he's currently attempting to biothom them together by the hands.
She's gonna to let out a small sigh of relief in the fact that they are currently corpses.
Yes. Well, he's trying to apply biothom to corpses. Give life to the dead is the ultimate aim of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
She's
right now he's using it to fake vicissitude, and he's making all of them link hands literally.
yeah. She's still going to be relieved that it's corpses.
Well, it is corpses. Unfortunately, things get messy, and one of the hands explodes, sending shards of bone everywhere. And he goes, "Gah! Ah, Dextra, how can I help you?" He says, wiping
Um,
little chunks of bone off of his face.
I was hoping I could talk to you about Adam.
Ah, yes. What about him? He's gotten the whole city in an uproar, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, despite the whole sunlight thing, I just I think galling him might be a bad idea.
Wait. Who told you to ghoul him?
Mildred?
He blinks a couple of times, and one moment. He pushes the intercom of the place, and he says, "Bring Apprentice O'Malley to my laboratory." And he looks at Dextra and says, "Help me clean up."
Uh, okay. And she'll start cleaning while going. I hope Mildred's not going to end up on this next.
You're nowhere near cleaned enough for her to end up on it by the time she gets in. Wearing scrubs, of course, because it is Sandy's laboratory,
Mm-hmm.
and he drags over a metal lab chair and says, "Have a seat." Mildred looks around and has a seat, and he looks at her and says, "Who gave you the authority to ghoul a supernatural member of the city?" And she blinks a bit and says, "You asked me to be prince." And he says, "Yes, I did. And as prince, you're still subject to the pyramid. The laws of the Camarilla do not trump the laws of the pyramid." Mildred swallows hard. And he looks at Dextra and says, Now, apprentice, what should be a suitable punishment for subverting the laws of the pyramid?
It kind of depends on how
In
much
this
damage
instance,
she did. Um, I don't really think I'm qualified to answer that question, but if you really want a suggestion,
I
I
would really like a suggestion, apprentice. Sometimes in my old age, I become too lenient. And Mildred swallows hard again.
losing rank, losing library privileges, and having to report on her actions in case of any further infractions.
He nods. Very well. But I'm going to give her one better. He looks at Mildred and says, "Hold out your hand, apprentice." And Mildred is shaky about doing it, and then he uses dominate and says, "Hold out your hand," and she does immediately. And he goes to the side and he pulls out an old style branding iron with a serpentine insignia and a blowtorch, and he starts heating the branding iron.
And
And
Dexter
he looks at her and he
wincing.
says, "Don't even think about pulling your hand back." And he's using dominate, and so she doesn't.
Yeah,
So what
Dexter's
was
going to be
Dexter going
looking
to do?
very, very uncomfortable.
And he takes the hand and presses the branding iron into her palm. And he says, "Snakes should be marked as snakes." And as soon as it's in, he pulls back and he looks at her and says, "You are not to heal this until I give you permission. I will be checking it every time we meet." And Mildred winces in pain, but actually manages not to scream out and says, "Yes, Regent." Dismissed. And Mildred gets the fuck out of Dodge. And then the Regent looks at you and says, looks at Dextra and says, "How far bloodbound is he?"
One stage.
He nods. "Good. That should be enough not to kill him. They're weakened by our nature, and I'd rather he have the grave to dig. I'd rather he have the shovel to dig his own grave." But sorry, I can't talk today.
She's going to nod, and because the XP hasn't gone through yet, as far as I'm aware.
No, it hasn't. I'm gonna start approving it tomorrow.
That's okay, but what I'm saying is because it hasn't gone through yet, I'm assuming she doesn't have subterfuge, so it's probably not going to be hard to tell that there is something she's not saying.
Well, I'll roll his perception empathy, which isn't much. Oh wait, no, he has crazy high perception. Never mind. I'll roll it anyways, just in case.
Because she does not have subterfuge.
Roll your manipulation.
I have
Need
one
two.
manipulation, and I will be getting a subterfuge this next time. So,
yay! He notices, and he looks at Dextra and says, "Speak the whole truth."
Mildred kind of knew that it would hurt Adam because he's a changeling.
Oh, I'm certain she did. She wouldn't have gotten to her rank if she didn't know.
Okay, it's just she kind of said that was why I should do it.
Yes, she wouldn't have gotten to her rank if she didn't know. But we do not bring people into the fold simply because they annoy us. No, we let them become completely disgraced before we do that. When no one will care when we've taken them. Besides, with changelings, it's better to skip straight to embracing. The sooner we strip them of that fey nature, the better, in accordance with the Tremere Code.
I don't think she planned on him embracing him, just killing off his face all. But
He chuckles a bit and says, "A fey ghoul is far more dangerous than a regular fey, especially since they have ways of breaking the bond."
I did not know that. But did you know about the rules about vampires dealing with the changelings?
Yes, it's part of the Tremere Code. We're not supposed to. Luckily, this city makes it impossible not to, so we have to bend the rules.
Okay, no, I was just checking because if she hadn't been telling you some things, then there might be other things, and I wasn't entirely sure.
Oh, I'm certain she's not telling me everything. And that's why she will remain prince whether she likes to or not, because she has the talent to keep it if she puts her mind to it. She hasn't been, and she's been trying to get me to take her out of the princehood. But she needs to royally screw up before I'll do that. And besides, I'm trying to get another Tremere into that position. I really don't want to lose the princehood.
No, I get that, and I get that would be a good thing. But doesn't it sound like, no offense and all, but doesn't it sound like it's kind of a bad plan putting someone in a position where you're basically encouraging them to really screw up?
At the moment, the short-term gain may outweigh the long-term consequences.
Okay, I just kind of thought
If
that I would mention that.
yes, he clears his throat and says, "When the Tremere own a city, even just the vampire ends of a city, we try to maintain that control even if another clan is prince. It is the way of things. And I'm following orders from Lord Reich. Lord Reich wants a Tremere prince, and not me. And besides, I have no interest in being prince either. So, if I have to suffer, Mildred has to suffer."
Okay.
It is the way of things, apprentice. So, you do deserve a little bit of a reward for pointing out your fellow apprentices' misdeeds. What would you like?
I was just trying to make it so I didn't have to ghoul Adam.
If that's all you'd like, then so be it.
I I'd like other things, but not because of this.
Ah, you still have a conscience. He takes out his scalpel and he starts cleaning it off, and he says, "We'll have to work on that."
I kind of like it. I mean, I know that a lot of people think that it's a weakness, but then if I like people and I'm nice to people, then sometimes they tell me things that they wouldn't tell people otherwise.
True, but to get to the far ends of power, you will need to work on that. He says as he cleans the last little bit of blood off his scalpel and puts it back on the tray. So, you're still studying technomancy, yes?
Yes.
I will have Mildred teach you more.
Okay.
And I am working on getting her transferred. We will need a prince we can control next in line. That is, if she doesn't give the city to the dogs before then.
Okay.
We'll just have to see, won't we? It's an experiment on a citywide scale. How delightful.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll just kind of deal with this technocracy thing in the meantime. They have, I don't know if you know about it, but they have these big mechanical suit things.
Yes, I saw them on the news. How did they stand up to werewolves?
The werewolves didn't do very well with them, nor did the big bear one, but technomancy did really well.
He grins, this wide, predatory grin, and he says, "Excellent." You are dismissed, apprentice.
Thank you. And she will beat a hasty retreat.
Okay, anything else you want to do in the chantry?
Not really, just general studying.
Okay, I think that's scene.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ari, for running it, and thank you, watchers, for watching, and all that stuff.